Thank you guys very much for allowing me the opportunity to be a part of your guys' special day today. This is a very humbling moment for me. When they approached me about this, I thought it was a joke, and they assured me that it was not. So we'll go forward from here. I'm extremely grateful to be in the position that I'm in, coming from Laverne, Minnesota, which is about 2.5 hours south of here, to live out my dream of being one of 32 NFL general managers in the world. It's been a tremendous ride since I left Morris. I went to Ohio University for 2 years of graduate school, and then I began my career in the NFL, which included multiple internships with the Vikings, Texans, and Patriots. I've moved my wife and family several times, from Houston to Colorado, to Massachusetts, to Nashville, and now to our current home in Phoenix, Arizona. My career has included 4 Super Bowl victories, 3 Super Bowl losses, a lot of division titles, and unfortunately, some last place finishes as well. Without the help of many people, and yes, a good deal of good luck, I would not be standing in front of you today. It's not always been easy, and there's been a lot of highs and lows, but I've been blessed to have the love and support of many friends and my wonderful family. I was especially fortunate to be a part of this campus community from the fall of 1996 to the spring of 2000. Now, while here, I majored in economics and management, and some of the same professors were here that are still here today. I remember the lessons I learned in microecon from Professor Finzel, lessons that continue to influence my decision-making today. I also played football during my 4 years here as well. When I was asked to give this speech, I was told I had around 20 minutes. In talking with my former coach, Ken Crandall, we thought maybe I could show a highlight video of my performance on the football field, and then we realized that would take about 40 to 45 seconds, and we quickly moved on to plan B. So please bear with me for a minute. I'd want to start a little bit by telling you about my Morris experience. My time at Morris began just right over here in Indy Hall. I lived on floor 4B, which I thought I had it made because I was in one of the wings that had a sink in the room. I don't know if that's still true, but I was living the high life in there. Second year, I upgraded to the on-campus apartments, where I made H2 my home. This was my first taste of living out on my own. My classes here were in the same buildings that you guys have been in for the last 4 years. I don't know Briggs Library, if you guys still use that as a quiet place to go study. My favorite part of Briggs Library was being there midweek and going and taking a break, going to find the skinniest book that I could find and slipping it in the bag of one of my buddies that was there and hoping that when they walked out, it would set off the alarm. We had to make our own fun sometimes, you know. I also remember the KUMM radio station. I hosted a radio show one semester with a couple of friends. We had the coveted Sunday morning time slot. The show was terrible. The only thing worse was the listenership numbers on a college campus on a Sunday morning. I also remember the things around town that made Morris what it is, and many of those places haven't changed today. The Morris Theater, where we used to go for $2 Tuesday night movies, Pizza Ranch, Willie's, Don's Cafe, they were all regular stops. My old apartment on the corner of 6th and Pacific still looks the same. And the Met Lounge. I can never forget the nights we had there. You guys know it, huh? All right, good. My Met Lounge experience was Thursday nights from 7 to 9, quarter taps. I don't know if inflation has expected quarter taps, but it was quarter taps for me. Now I'm really going to date myself. So here was my Thursday night routine. 6:55, I would set at my apartment my VCR. I would set it at 6:55 to record the current episodes of Friends and Seinfeld. I would then run down to the Met, enjoy the 2 hours of quarter taps. At 8:55, I would walk out. I would run back to my apartment so I could reset the VCR to record the show ER. I didn't have the luxury of a DVR or streaming platforms. Talk about real-world problems. And then I'd head back to the Met, but I'd have to pay full price at that point. So, there were also some not good things about my time in Morris. We were not a good football team when I was here. Not at all. In fact, I got one last quiz for you guys. Does anybody know what the number 1 means? How about the numbers 43 and 12? 1 is the number of wins I was a part of while I was the starting quarterback at Morris. And I started 23 games. 43 to 12, that was the average score of those 24 games. I didn't major in statistics, but I know enough to know that wasn't good. I also wasn't a particularly good quarterback. For one thing, I had a bad habit of throwing the ball to the other team. And when they weren't intercepted, more often than not, I threw more incompletions than completions. If I had to evaluate myself as a football player like I do others every day of my current job, the report wouldn't be pretty. That said, I wouldn't trade my experience for anything. Back then, we were a Division II team. We were the only school in the conference that didn't offer athletic scholarships. Being a football player taught me about resilience, something my teammates and I had to demonstrate regularly by returning after getting thumped week after week. It taught me about hard work, a vital component to my teammates, and I keeping the scores as close as they were, which, as you saw, were often not close at all. It taught me about friendship and what it meant to be a good teammate. I'm proud to say I still hold dear many of those relationships today. Our team's one win with me as a starting quarterback was at the end of my junior season against Mayville State. It was in the Metrodome, the old Vikings and Twins Stadium, where we played our last game of the season every year. The game kicked off at 8 a.m., which, like my campus radio show, was not the most coveted time slot. The earliest kickoff is where they put the worst teams. We scored with around 30 seconds left on the clock when I threw a touchdown pass to Damian Hoffman to win the game 25-22. That game, that win, meant so much to me and my teammates. I look back on that win with as much pride as I do any of my Super Bowl wins I was a part of. I tell you about these things because that was a part of my Morris experience. It wasn't always easy, and life never is. Morris is a part of me, and it always will be. UMM has been a part of my path. For better or worse, all these things help shape who I am, just as your experience at Morris has shaped who you are. And you will all carry those experiences with you throughout the next stages of life. So what's next? Some of you know. Some of you are still trying to figure it out. Some of you will be starting a family. Some of you already have. Some will wait. Some may not have a family in your future. Whatever you decide your next step in life, there will be challenges. I've been fortunate to be a part of some very special and successful teams in my 24 NFL career. I've been fortunate to be on a team and work alongside very talented people, including the best coach in the history of the NFL in Bill Belichick and the greatest QB ever in Tom Brady. Each of the programs I've been involved with have been different, from our historic run of success with the Patriots to a gritty and overachieving team in the Tennessee Titans to an energetic upstart I am now with the Arizona Cardinals. Each of these programs functioned in a different way, but the goal was always the same: to operate at a high level and compete for a championship. I would like to share with you some of the lessons I've learned throughout my career that I believe easily to apply to whatever life has in store for you after you leave Morris. With the Patriots, I was a part of 7 Super Bowl teams, winning 4 of them. There was a sign on the door every day that we walked by as we left the facility. Every day it was the same. Everyone saw it, including some of the best players who have ever played the game, from Tom Brady to Rob Gronkowski to Randy Moss, all the way down to low-level slappies like myself. On this sign, there were 4 rules listed for us all to live by as we were outside the confines of our facility, and they were as follows. Number 1, don't believe or fuel the hype. We were a good team during my time with the Patriots, sometimes a very good team. Our goal every year was to win the Super Bowl. Anything else was a missed opportunity. But we didn't want our team focused on talk. The only thing that matters is how we performed when the stakes were the highest. For you, the hype will be different than when talking about a Super Bowl contender. Whether you are working through your career path, thinking about a life-changing move, or dealing with challenges of raising a family, it will be extremely important to be where your feet are. Don't get too far ahead of yourself. You can only make the best decisions with the information you have, and don't look back. The hype doesn't matter. What matters is what you do with your opportunities. Establish who you are and what you believe in. Determine your goals and plan a course to achieve them. The hype is a waste of time. Action is the only way to reach your goals. Number 2 was manage expectations. Expectations were immense, and the bar was set sky high for the Patriots. We were expected to win the Super Bowl almost every season, and anything else was a disappointment. The thing about expectations is they're not bad. You should have high expectations for yourself, your coworkers, and for your family members. Your work at Morris has earned you that right to have high expectations for what is next in life. But expectations need to be managed. You may not nail the first job interview, you may not get that promotion, but don't let that define you. My NFL career was close to being over after my first job in the NFL. I had a one-year internship with the Houston Texans back in 2002. After the internship was over, I interviewed with the Miami Dolphins and the Baltimore Ravens for a job, and I didn't get either. I suddenly find myself unemployed and at a life crossroads. I was 24 years old with 2 undergraduate degrees from Morris and 2 graduate degrees from Ohio University, and I was living in my parents' basement. I was forced to contemplate what was next in life, even though this is not what I planned and not the way things were supposed to work. Talk about having to manage expectations. And then I caught a break. An opportunity came up with the Patriots because they had a job available, and I was recommended for it by someone by the Ravens, the same team that had just turned me down. I was fortunate to get another chance, and I didn't look back. So set your goals, go after them, and when things don't go exactly as you planned, adjust. Just make sure you manage expectations along the way. Number 3, ignore the noise. There's always noise out there. For an NFL team, it may be media hot takes, it may be the opinion of fans, or input from players' agents. It was a necessity for our team to not focus on the outside noise and instead be in tune with the mental state of our team. Your generation has a challenge. The noise is loud and is not going to die down. Social media allows everyone to have an opinion. It is full of untruths and projections of what life supposedly should look like. It is also an avenue to be told how you should live your life or what is important. But the reality is only you can decide what you want your life to be. That decision is yours, and if some of you have a family, it is a decision you make with your family unit. You decide your career path. You decide how you want to live. You decide how you're going to raise your family. And don't let the noise tell you any differently. And the last thing on that sign was speak for yourself. In the NFL, the media is always looking for a story, and when the story can create controversy, it's even better. We didn't want to create unnecessary distractions for our team by stirring the pot. Nothing could alter a team's chemistry more than a player complaining about his role on the team or questioning what is happening with the scheme. With the foundation you have gained here in Morris, you have a certain set of beliefs. Some of those belief systems will be with you forever. Some of them will change as you continue through life. Whatever you believe in, be convicted in what you believe and base it in facts. Share it if you want or don't. But whatever you do, always remember to speak for yourself, not for anyone else. As I walked out of the door in New England for the last time in the spring of 2020, it was scary. I was leaving a place I knew very well. I was comfortable there, my family was settled. Our Patriots dynasty was coming to an end, but there was hope we could find a way to keep the magic going. It would have been easy and safe to stay in the same place and continue with the organization I had been with for 15 years. But I knew for my career to progress, I needed a new challenge, and this brought my family to Nashville to join the Tennessee Titans. At Tennessee, I joined a team that was enjoying success, not at the level of the Patriots, but still a successful program. I had to learn a new system, new coworkers, and an overall new way of doing business after being under the Patriots umbrella for many years. The Titans were led by Mike Vrabel, who coincidentally was a former Patriots outside linebacker. Coach Vrabel is an excellent coach who brought intelligence, toughness, and competitiveness to everything we did as an organization. He had 3 team keys that he wanted to define us as an organization, and I think they are good keys for you guys as well. Number 1, do everything with effort and finish. Our Titans team was never the most talented, but what we could do, what we needed to do, was outcompete every team we played. We needed to use our effort to outpursue other teams to the ball, even when it looked like we weren't in the play. We needed to finish every play by being the most physical tackling team or by churning for extra yards on offense. Quite simply, we needed to outwork and play harder than the other team. As you leave Morris, there are things you can control and things you cannot. But the thing you can always control is your effort and finish. You can outwork anyone. You can out-hustle anyone. You can go the extra mile in everything you do. If you want something, don't be denied because you didn't give everything you have and then some. I think Tom Brady said it best in his retirement speech a couple years ago. Tom said, you don't have to be the best at what you are doing. You simply have to be willing to do what someone else isn't. So no matter what you do when you take your next step in life, bring effort and finish to everything you do. The second team key was details matter. For the Titans, details matter meant winning on the margins and doing the little things right. Be on time in meetings. Run the play the right way. Don't jump off sides. Take care of the ball. Little things add up to big things. If we wanted to win a game, we had to control the things we can control and not give our opponent an advantage through our mistakes. Details will matter for you as you leave Morris. It could be at your first job. For you to stand out or excel at your job, you must do the little things right. You can't make a big difference until you prove to your boss that you can be counted on to do the everyday things right. Do the little things the right way all the time will put you in a position to make a difference. Earn the trust of your coworkers, your boss, your organization, and your family by paying attention to the little things because details matter. The third one was, trying to keep this PG here, don't do dumb stuff that hurts the team. This could be any decision or action that adversely affects the team. Examples are tackling a player out of bounds or making a late hit after the whistle, punching or fighting an opponent that could result in an ejection, or getting in trouble away from the facility, which could result in a suspension. As you can see, most of these are a result of a player making a bad decision, and not only does the player suffer, but so does the team. The same can be true in life. You are leaving the friendly confines of the Morris community. It's a big world out there, and it is full of pitfalls which can affect you and your family. As best you can, put yourself in positive situations, surround yourself with the right people, and make the good decisions. Most importantly, don't do dumb stuff that can hurt your team. After 3 seasons with the Titans, I was named general manager of the Arizona Cardinals. It was a long road to get here. In fact, I was turned down for a GM job by 6 teams over a 3-year period prior to getting the Arizona job. I previously interviewed with the Cleveland Browns, the Carolina Panthers, the New York Giants, the Chicago Bears, the Tennessee Titans, and the Minnesota Vikings, and all said, thanks, but no thanks. Each one was a gut punch, and I questioned each time if I would ever have an opportunity to interview for a GM job again. One of those rejections was particularly rough, and that was when I was turned down by the Vikings. Growing up in Minnesota, I was a diehard Viking fan, and it was a dream come true to interview for that job. However, in hindsight, not getting that job was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. It wasn't my time, it wasn't the right move for me or my family, and it led us to our new home in Phoenix. With the Cardinals, we faced many challenges in our first 2 years. Our roster was depleted, and we needed to change a lot of facets of our football operations. We've made strides, and we're getting closer. We are excited for what the future brings. In our building and for our team, we only have one rule, and it is painted in large font in the main hallway of our facility. It is simple yet powerful. It reads, team in uppercase letters, and underneath it is the word you, written in lowercase letters. Team over you. We ask everyone in our building, no matter what they are doing, to put the team first. This includes players, coaches, scouts, trainers, and everyone else in football operations. No matter what your job is, did you give full effort and do your job at a high level? For the players, did you do everything you could to maximize yourself? A player who didn't get enough sleep, didn't eat a proper breakfast, didn't stretch properly, didn't study film at home is putting himself over the team. Is a player doing his job on a given play so that his teammates can trust that he is in the right spot? Putting the team over you is not always glamorous, but it's necessary. As you leave Morris, you will be on a team of some sort. You will be on a team at work. For those of you who eventually have families, that will be the most important team you are ever on. There will be times when you will have to sacrifice to do something that isn't perfect for you in the moment, but it puts your team in a position to be successful. Be selfless and find a way to help whatever team it is on reach new heights. I've given you lessons I learned with the Patriots, the Titans, and now the Cardinals. I borrowed all these lessons, but I want to give you some original words of wisdom of my own. Words of wisdom is a very loose set of terms there. In this world, everyone's in a hurry to be promoted to a new title, in a hurry to make more money, in a hurry to achieve something. It is perfectly fine to have aspirations and to be motivated, but you should keep in mind that life has its own plan and timeline. Don't get frustrated or discouraged. Stick to your path, and if you must alter your course, adjust accordingly. 2 nights ago, I had my favorite meeting of the year. It was the first night that our rookie players were in our building. These young men are the same age as all of you sitting out here in front of me today. They are taking their next step in life, and for them, they have achieved a lifelong goal of being a professional football player. We have players who were drafted, some who were about to sign contracts worth millions and millions of dollars. And there's some in that room that we signed for absolutely nothing. But the message in the room at the first meeting is the same every year. It doesn't matter how you got here, whether you were drafted or undrafted, whether you come from a small town or a big city, whether you had a smooth life path or had to struggle through adversity every step of the way. The only thing that matters is what you do next. Take advantage of your opportunity and find a way to earn a role on this team. The past doesn't matter. What matters is what you do going forward. And this is where my original words of wisdom come into play. I've used these 3 points in talking to my own staff who have their own career aspirations. If you remember anything from today, just keep this in mind, no matter what you do. Number 1, work hard. This one isn't complicated. Work hard. It's simple. Work harder than the person next to you. Be willing to go the extra mile, whether in your job or in taking care of your family. There are lots of things you cannot control in life, but your willingness to work hard is not one of them. Don't ever let yourself look back on something and say, if I had just worked a little harder. Give it everything you have, and you don't have to worry about regrets. Number 2, do a good job. Working hard by itself isn't enough. This is a production-based world, and you must do a good job. But here's the cool thing. When you get an opportunity and you produce positive results, guess what happens? You get more opportunities. Each time you are given a job or have a chance to contribute, do it as well as you possibly can. Make a difference, show your value, and you will earn the right to do more. And number 3, treat people the right way. It is never the wrong time to do the right thing, and it is always the right time to treat people the right way. Show respect to everyone, family, coworkers, elders, subordinates, it doesn't matter. If you treat people the way you want to be treated, this world will be a better place. That's it. That's as deep as my words of wisdom get. You will find it is simply amazing how often life works out in a positive way if you just remember to work hard, do a good job, and treat people the right way. Minnesota Morris, class of 2025, congratulations. Thank you very much for allowing me to be a part of your special day. Morris is a part of me, just as it is a part of you. I wish you nothing but success now and wherever life takes you. Thank you, and go Cougars.